Yo, how's it going, guys? Today we got those nice Zefra Swordsoul combos here for you guys. I'm just throwing up the deck list real quick and letting you guys know if you want a rundown on the cards in the deck and why we play them. You should go check out my other video. I'll leave a link to that in the description where I just run through all the cards, why we play them, what they do. But in this video, I'll be showing off a bunch of different replays I have with a bunch of nice unique combos and of course the main lines that you want to be going for. And of course, I'll be leaving a link in the description to Ryujin's channel, who basically came up with the deck list for the TCG, and this my list right here is heavily inspired by his. Alright guys, hope you enjoy it. Alright, in this replay, we're going to be going second here. We have no hand traps, and we're going to be playing against Fire King. So I'm going to fast forward their combo here. Our hand is pretty decent. We have access to our Wakaushi. We have another way of maybe baiting out a hand trap or something. Maybe they'll ash this, right? We do have our Oracle, which is very, very nice. Heavenly Dragon Circle can help us play through some stuff as well, but we need to make sure we get the super heavy stuff done first. Good thing about the field spell is, of course, it doesn't actually go to the graveyard when you activate it. Unless, of course, they pop it, but that would kind of suck, right? So let's check what they have for disruption. I'm going to draw into another motorbike. Kind of unfortunate. We know they have the princess here. They're going to add back the Ponix in the standby phase here. And I think they have a Kirin or something. Not sure why Fire King Sanctuary isn't on the field here. And this is a monster negate as well. So I was hoping they would maybe negate it here. Now we get Max Seed. And here's where we have to Giga Brain them. So they're going to get rid of our Wakaushi, which doesn't really matter as much, honestly, because we can use Oracle to search for our Zefra as the high scale. So we're going to use that here. And now it's a good thing we have to search for another Wakaushi because we get to pen the one from our hand here. Now this is summon number 5 already, but I wanted to get everything out here. Gonna do some chain blocking here. It's going to negate me turning this into a tuner, which changes up the line a little bit here. And we're going to get ashed here on the Benkei. So a ton of disruption already coming out here. And now we're just going to go ahead and synchro these guys right off, straight into a Baron. We got a nice negate here. And we're going to synchro these two off into our Denglong. Now do note that we still have our normal summon, so Denglong is going to search for the Swanee. We normal summon this, and now the Chaofeng will also turn off the threat of Nibiru, as well as turning off the, what is it, Kirin I think is the guy from the hand? I need let me check this. Don't want to lie to you guys. I'm pretty sure Kirin is the one in the hand that like blows you up and stuff, right? This one. Yes. So this is a fire, so you can't use it. They also can't use Nib because it's a light. And we're just gonna sack this guy. That doesn't matter at all. Use a Zephyr Providence to search for another worm here to enable our Longyan. Get a bunch of damage on the field. Burn them a bit, and now we're going to use the Baron to pop the Fire King Island. This will blow up their field, and we swing for well over lethal. Alrighty, so this is unfortunately a game that we do lose. Not only do they get to go first, they also get to set up 3 cards, and then they max C us here. Not sure why I didn't use it early. Maybe they were playing around Gamma or something. I don't know. So my play here is I was going to go for a Dark Chaofeng, assuming it was maybe Labyrinth. But unfortunately, it was just Eldlich here. And at this point, the game is kind of over because they ash the Chaofeng as well. They have a ton of advantage here due to the Maxi. And the Maxi also draws them into their Horus engine here, which just puts up way too much stuff. Probably should have hit this with the Lithosagem, to be honest, to just keep him off of it, but I don't think it's really a real or a relevant card, to be honest. So as you can see, they just build up way too much advantage here. I'm going to go for a Chenging line here. The motorbike is live since we don't have spells or traps in the graveyard here. But unfortunately, the Wakaushi isn't, since the Benkei is already in the grave here. So we're just using it as a tuner. We're going to be chain blocking here with it, not like it really matters. And we actually get to pop his guy here off the Shithana. So a lot of neat interactions here. But unfortunately it won't be enough because after this turn is when they access their horror stuff. And that outs the Chenging, which is otherwise not really feasible for Eldlich to deal with. And the game is pretty much just over at this point. So I'll just let it play out here. I'm getting rid of both the Eldliches to hopefully turn off their counter trap here. Because I believe you should only be playing to the Golden Lords, because it is a break if you see too many of them. But they do have a third one anyway, so it never really mattered. Yeah, and they just clear the whole board here. And Field Spell is dead as well. Long Yuan does nothing for us either. So, unfortunately, we do lose the game here. Alright, here's another duel going first. Our hand is kind of awkward with a double Maxi and the 9 pillars. So we're just going to scale the Zefraxi and the Zefrath, send Zefrianu to the extra deck, Pendulum, summon it out, get Ashed on it, which is good because now our Maxi gets to resolve, and we set the counter trap that we had already. So we use the Maxi here, and our opponent is playing Blackwings. So we're going to have to try to identify a good choke point here. And I think it's this. It's use both of its effects. We get to get rid of it. We get to search the follow-up off of this. They swing for a 1400, which does nothing. They lose their... basically the full turn here now. And when they maxi us, we have the Ash Blossom, fortunately, to deal with it. And now we're going to simply go for a Croco Dragon line to search for the Protos. And that just ends the duel on the spot, as all of their cards are darks. And we can just slowly whittle them down. We have a counter trap for protection as well. And they surrender here. Alrighty, so we do win the coin flip here and we go first, even though our opponent named himself Give Me Second. Pretty sure it's just a bait here. So we're gonna go for the super heavy line, and we're gonna use the monk here, and here we get a response. So we know they have Ash Blossom, and we have a way to just beat Ash Blossom, right? If they don't hit the Benkei, they're pretty much forced to hit it if they think, oh, maybe there's something later on. They're completely wrong. The Denglong search gets chain blocked by the Wakaushi. And then we just search for Suwani, normal summon it, make Chaofeng, and now they're completely locked out of using Ash Blossom at any point. So Denglong gets resolved for free, Zefrianu gets resolved for free, we get to go for the Boxia here, just to like kind of make space. Grab the Chizhao, and now Tai is going to send the Ashina here. Search for the Protos, and we banish all these dudes. Search for another counter trap. And we'll just go ahead and make the monk here, Ashna here just for another dude, and we end the turn here. So what do we have? We have 2 Omnis. This thing negates a monster on the field. They can't summon any, can't special summon any dark monsters, and they can't use light or fire effects, which they kind of find out the hard way after activating Bonfire. No effect on Poplar, and they surrender. Alright, for this duel, we do find Big Benkei, which isn't as terrible if you do have access to your Zefrath. Again, we're playing 9 copies of it, so we're not that unlikely to find it. This is your low scale for the deck, as the other one locks you into Zefras and Yangzings. Of course, you don't want to pend out the Longyan, so we're just going to keep it in hand here. And now what we're going to do here is we have multiple different lines we could go for. But in order to play around Nibiru or something, we're going to make the Qizhao here. You might be wondering, how does this play around it? Well, we get to search for our Swordsoul Emergence. So we do have a way to still resolve the Longyuan, guaranteed. And now we get to stack a card on top of our deck here. And it's just going to be a maxi. We draw into it. We have that for free. And it doesn't seem like they have any disruptions here. Our random Moye draw fortunately did give us the worm here. So we don't have to use the Providence to get one, and can instead use Providence for a trap card as another negate. So we have the Baron coming out here, stopping them from summoning Darks with the Protos. And we have 2 Omnis, a Monster Negate, Protos called Dark, and Maxi, just to add insult to injury, firing it off in the draw phase. And it's going to be Galaxy, which doesn't really care about the Protos lock, but we still do have 3 disruptions, and if we draw enough, we even get to use the Croco Dragon here for another pop if need be. I'm just going to gate this because it has a lot of obnoxious effects on it. And it looks like that just ends their turn completely. And we're going to tag out here. Just to show this off, it wasn't necessary in this duel, right? But we get to tag out for the long one, summon out our Adhara from hand, go into the Yazi, burn them again, pop this, and this is going to go for a Taya. Now, using the Taya, we get to grab another token here. Adhara is going to bring back the Longyan to hand, and we're going to Synchro Summon into the extra monster zone here, just to clear the space up. And now we get to actually use the Longyan again by pitching the Ashina in our hand, and we get to make a fresh Baron with another fresh negate. This is all, of course, protected by our Zefra counter trap here, so even if they did decide to nib somewhere in between. But now we have 2 negates, and we just beat him over the head. So we're going to be going second here, because we did lose the coin flip. And our opponent, unfortunately, didn't have too good of a hand. However, ours is pretty nice here. We're going to lead with the Oracle of Zefra, see if they have like an Ash Blossom or something, since we don't want the Ecclesia to get hit. If this gets called by it, we still get to summon out the Ashina as well, so we're still kind of fine. That's why we lead with that play. Now Moye just gets to summon itself, go into the Qizhao here, get the search, of course, chain blocked by the Moye, and we get hit by Ring of Destruction. So that's not what I was expecting, definitely. But it's not really bad. As a matter of fact, it's actually pretty decent for us, since now we have cleared our zone and get to actually still summon out the Ashina, never punished. Normal summon this, and we go into a Chao Feng. Now, this is the Yang Zings, not the worms, so this only locks out dark and not light. And now we get to summon out the Longyuan here. And we're going to very simply go ahead and make the Baron, burn him a bit more, pop his card, and then swing for game. Here, another duel where we unfortunately do lose the coin flip, and we're actually playing into pure Swordsoul. So this is going to be very interesting. We unfortunately do draw the 9 pillars, very obnoxious. This is a reason why I'm considering actually cutting the card. But it is what it is. I'd rather have just another push, right? So they're going to actually not go into Baron or anything, but instead for the Qixing Longyan. which is really obnoxious because it actually gets to banish your scales. So I'm going to try to hold off on activating scales or revealing that I'm on any pendulums at all as long as possible. Here, since when your opponent activates a spell, trap card, or effect, they get to banish it. So it deletes my scales. I really don't want to have to deal with that. That really sucks. So we're trying to bait out the special summon banish thing as well by going straight into the Monk of the Tenyi here. Now we use Sword Soul Emergence. He's thinking, oh, we're just playing pure Sword Soul as well. So he's just going to go for the damage here. Why not, right? And we're going to use this for the Liangyan. Now we pitch this worm that we have in our hand. That is a Franyu. And we go into the Baron. I'm going to burn him for a bit here as well. Baron's going to trigger, pop this. And he is going to call by Zefranyu. Very obnoxious. But I mean, it is what it is. And we're just going to use the Providence here. Go for the Oracle. Grab the low scale, scale both of our pens here, and we're going to pen summon out this dude, see if he uses the Chi Zhao for no reason on it. And now we set our counter trap. Unfortunately, even if we do pop this, we don't actually get to search here because it's still under called by. I'm going to go ahead and negate the Moye with the Baron, which is our public disruption here. They fire the talents here to take our Baron, so we're going to use the 9 pillars to just get rid of that as well. And we are going to actually opt to destroy our scale here so we can protect this guy from battle with a Providence. This also clears up our locked scale. Now we have 2 guys here, and we find the Ash Blossom. So I'm going for the Edhara here. My plan was I was going to go into Yazi and pop him. I totally forgot his effects are live again. So he's going to go ahead and banish this, which isn't actually that bad because now we do have the Croco Dragon play here. Or a Chaofeng play. And we opt to go for this one. Crash the Chaofeng to search for our Ecclesia here, which we are then going to special summon in main phase 2. And that's going to get us into our Taya. I'm going to banish the Longyan here. And then synchro it off into our Chi Zhao. I'm going to use this to search for our emergence. Taya is going to just dump another attribute for the Protoss. And we're going to get burned a little bit more, but we're not in like any real danger right now. And we're going to use Protoss to pop the fire. This clears this monster as well as turning him off of the Long Yuan. And the Chi Zhao checks another Moye or a Taya. And now we have exactly enough damage if we just normal the Moye without the effect. So we're going to go ahead and swing and prove that this is the best Sword Soul variant. Copium. Alright, so we lose another coin flip. Going second here, we do have an Ash Blossom and a fairly decent hand. We're playing against heroes. I don't actually know what the choke point is here, but I heard that you're supposed to negate Vion. In hindsight, I think I'm supposed to Ash the increase and you're supposed to imperm Vion maybe. Yeah, kind of awkward. So we're trying to keep him off of Poly here. Unfortunately, does already have the Plasma. And he also has a Fusion Destiny. Kind of obnoxious. I kind of missed out on the effect was this Link summoned. I think he should have used Fusion Destiny first. But, I mean, it is what it is. And I didn't actually realize that they add the Honest Neos here while I was playing. So we're going to go ahead and lead with the Ashina. Now, we have to figure out some way to clear the Plasma. This is just like Skill Drain, only negates while we control the monsters. And you can't really be over it because the DPE is just going to pop whatever you have there, as well as it just reduces so much of your attack. I'm losing 1400 attack on everything since he has 7 hero cards in his graveyard here. So we're going to go for a bit of a more complex line. Ashina here gets ashed. This sucks. but it is what it is. This also means we don't actually get locked into worms. So we're going to summon the Moye here. And of course, can't use the effect. But we get to synchro into Boxia. So I'm going to use this to target his plasma here. Moye just to draw a card. And now we have the Heavenly Dragon Circle to tribute off our Boxia. This way, it's no longer on the field. And we get to bounce the plasma, as well as this actually searches for the Protos. Now we get to summon this. It can't be destroyed by card effects, so DPE doesn't matter. We fire this off, and it'll pop the whole board. He's smart enough to realize he can't pop Protos and tries to out my other monster. So my monk does disappear here. And now we just swing here after having the Dark Lock. Now they do find a hero lives. So Stratos searches Varus, which you can't summon. He attacks, and here's where he uses the Honest Neos, which I didn't realize he had. This is kind of an issue here. And now we know what he has in hand. It's the Ferris. And we're going to go for the Taya here. I have to figure out a way. If I ever target this, he's going to tribute it and summon out with the increase. If I ever target the increase, he's going to tribute the Stratos, summon out the increase. So that's kind of an issue here. We're going to get the Swordsoul token here. And we're going to go for Chizhao. It's going to go ahead and grab us another search. And he decides to do all these shenanigans early. So we get the Longyan, and my plan here is that we're actually going to use the Dragonic Diagram to sack the Chizhao. They unfortunately have a Neos here. We're going to sack the Chizhao for the Lithosagem. I can't speak. Just as a discard for the Longyan. Now Vishuddha is live. We get to bounce one of the guys. Ashina is going to summon out the Edhara. And here we opt to go for a Yazi. So pop both of these guys. Yazi's going to trigger. And we summon out the Shathana in order to make the Draco Berserker, which you can still synchro into under Ashina's Wormlock. And we swing for game. Alright, here's another quick one. We are going second as we did lose the coin flip, but we do have Ash Maxi. I'm going to Ash this right away in hopes that he maybe call buys it, and then my Maxi gets to resolve, which is for me more important as it's much larger of a deterrent. They're going to use Rhoda here to search for Photon Vanisher. Summon this guy with an effect to special summon something, so we fire off our Maxi. Now, we do get a trigger here as well, so I'm pretty sure that he has a Maxi of his own, as I'm not aware of any quick effects that this archetype would have in hand. And we find the Protos, which pretty much just seals the deal, as this is a purely light deck. And this also lets us play through the Nibiru here. So they're going to Maxi. And we're going to lead off with the Motorbike. We're going to start putting attributes in grave. We have Earth and Fire already. Going to summon out the Taya, summon 1. Moye, summon 2. Moye, effect, summon 3. And now, since we do have the 3 attributes in grave, we're going to do Protos Call Light here. This also stops them from special summoning Nibiru, so we're just free to push for game right here. Funnily enough, Chizhao is actually a light monster, so we can't make him here. But we're going to go ahead and use the Wakaushi here. Get ashed on this, which it really does not matter. This means that we get to resolve our Oracle here. Make Draco Berserker for a draw. And because we actually can't Pendulum Summon, because the token's on the field, and they're just going to surrender here. We're going to make a Baron or something and just swing. Alright, here our opponent has actually opted to go second here. So we're going to lead off with Kaushi. We're going to try to floodgate as many attributes as possible in hopes of that stopping them from just killing us. Thinking of stuff like Numeron, maybe something maybe like Mikanko. We'd stop the Ohime as a light, right? Numerons are lights. Maybe it's some other going second strategy. So we're gonna go ahead and make a fire light Chaofeng here. And we're gonna use Denglong for Jiao 2 here actually, since we do have double Zefraxi, and Zefraxi can't make another Zefraxi into a tuner. And we're gonna use this for the Chijiao in order to access our Protos here. We unfortunately don't have an Omni Negate here, but as you'll find out, it doesn't actually matter. We're going to end on Firelight, Lock, Dark Lock, and the Negate. And now we end on a Fat Ball, which just gets Dark Hold, and now they have the King's Sarcophagus. And they're going to start pitching attributes. It's a misplay to send Mseti here, because it is a dark and can't be summoned under Protos. Now, unfortunately, they do pop our low scale here, and now they go into Zeus. So now we have to figure out a way to force the Zeus and then keep playing. We draw an Ash Blossom for turn, so the line of thought here is if I special Ashina, normal Ash Blossom, he Zeus's the board, he has Zeus, I have 0 cards, so I'm going to try to at least keep the Ash Blossom to keep him off of a play next turn or something, and I ideally want to force the Zeus. So we have a play with the Ashina here. I'm going to go ahead and link this off into the Monk, use the effect to summon out the Vishuddha here, and now the Vishuddha will threaten to shuffle the Zeus back into the extra deck here if we link it off into our Monk. Now, as you may or may not have noticed, we actually only run 1 Monk, so we actually can't link this off. I'm just hoping to bluff. Sorry, you can't bluff in Yu-Gi-Oh! Konami prohibits it. It's illegal. So we are hoping he, by the grace of God, decides of his own volition and no other external factors that he would prefer to board wipe me now before I get set up some more. Unfortunately, he does. So now we have the Ash Blossom here. Not really threatened yet. Unfortunately for us, they don't find anything that deals with us here. But we do have to find something off the top of our deck here. And we fortunately do find another Ashina. Very convenient. Summon this, go into Baron, pop this guy. Swing once, pass turn. I'm going to go next. And our opponent, fortunately for us, doesn't actually find anything that deals with our board at all, as Baron's Negate is still live. Find a Providence, which I'm just going to keep as well, maybe actually I should have searched for the Counter Trap. Probably should have searched for the Counter Trap since we do have a Zefraxi up here. I was thinking of playing a bit longer, but I think if he did have some board breaker or something, he would prefer to maybe hold it until he has 2. I think a play here was definitely to search for the Counter Trap. Yeah, they don't have anything, and they're at 2k life points, so we win. Yay!